Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is October 23rd, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see our next storm here digging across the Gulf of Alaska. It's going to start overspreading the region tonight and on into tomorrow morning. And then the next system, you can see it out here crossing towards western Alaska and just north of the Aleutian Islands here. That's Tuesday afternoon storm system. Will be hot on the heels of this one. Then we're going to dig out a big trough over the Gulf of Alaska and continue our stormy pattern here as we go on in through next weekend and possibly on through the following week even. Now, jumping right into things here, look at Seattle's temperatures. It's just fallen off the table here. Look at this, 50 degrees yesterday. Remember that 88-degree day we had just under a week ago there. Another 4,100 inch of rain. We're going to start adding on that tonight, on to tomorrow morning, and then the system following will continue to bring precipitation here across the region. Look at the CoCoRaHS. This is precipitation map for the last, actually October 21st to the 22nd. Yellow dots reported more than an inch. You can see the blue dots there, a quarter inch just to under an inch, and the light blue is generally under a quarter an inch. See a little bit of a rain shadow across some of the Kitsap Peninsula here, but pretty good amounts around the area, but less as you went north towards Vancouver Island and Victoria. And British Columbia here, southwest BC, but that will change here coming up, folks. Don't worry about BC. They're going to get their share coming up. And you can see some pretty good amounts off to the east of Portland, up in the foothills as well as off the portions east of Seattle also. Now, taking a look here, NAM 3KM, let's check out what's coming. This next storm system, when is it going to start bringing precipitation? You can see it coming across Vancouver Island here this afternoon and evening. Overspread much of the region here as we go on in through tomorrow morning. You see that frontal passage. Then we're going to have some convergent zone activity on the back side of this. And some of these showers will spread down all the way through northwest Oregon again tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow night. We'll look at the HRRR here in a moment. It shows the convergent zones set up a little bit better, but you can see Tuesday's system then starts to swing in here with the frontal system as well. And we'll look at that here on the HRRR also. So this is the HRRR 12Z, 3 kilometer. As we go through this evening, there comes the system, unmistakable there, frontal system, late morning passage. Look at the convergent zone activity, though, on the backside of this. We're going to get some winds coming down the Strait of Georgia, through the Strait of Juan de Fuca, through the Chehalis Gap as well. Pretty cool air aloft associated with this. We might even trigger a thunderstorm or two across the region here coming up. Now, taking a look here, this is the HRRR 3KM 12Z. This is a wind gust, cumulative wind gust here. So as we go through the day today, you'll see these stronger winds approach the coastline. Now look at what's going on across just Whidbey Island up through the San Juans, Bellingham area. Looks like some strong winds are in store up towards Vancouver, BC as well. Look at this, up over 40s. Some places are going to be up into the lower 50s potentially here. Look at the Puget Sound, even Tacoma, Olympia getting up towards 40 miles an hour. Could get some nuisance power outages out of this. And anywhere you get up towards 50 miles per hour, you can start bringing down some branches and whatnot, and even some weakened trees here and get some nuisance power outages. But look along the Washington coast as well. It's probably going to be pretty blustery as we go overnight into tomorrow morning here across a lot of the region here. You can see even Seattle getting to 36 miles per hour. So it could be some nuisance power outages across the area. This is looking at the NAM 3KM accumulated wind gust here. You can see the stronger winds approach the coastline here. Look it up towards the interior San Juans, Whidbey Island, Bellingham. Look at this up into the 40s, maybe even up towards 50 miles per hour, even here on the NAM. You see the similar pattern here down towards Tacoma and Olympia. Some pretty strong winds for early in the season. A lot of leaves on the trees. Could get some nuisance power outages. And of course for the higher terrain as well. But you can see the Oregon coast getting in on a little bit of that action as well. And a little bit of enhanced wind down there towards Astoria also. Now looking here, this is the European 06Z. This is the most recent run. Actually, let's go ahead and update this. The 12Z is running right now. So let's just go out as far as we can on the 12Z run here. Here goes Monday's system, overspreading the region with precipitation here on in through tomorrow morning. Convergent zones, you can kind of see them. They're hanging out across some of the Cascades, West Slope. So we'll be watching that tomorrow. I may go out and start to film some of that if we look like we're going to get some good convergent zone activity around the sound. Tuesday's system swings through again, a nice batch of precip moving through the area. And then here goes the Alaska troughing here as we go through later this week. We get a bit of a break from the precipitation, just light amounts, until it looks like a potential for an atmospheric river on through the extended here. It does not look too dynamic right now, and we'll just continue to watch it. As you can see, this is well out towards early Friday morning next week coming up here. Now, taking a look here, the GFS hot off the presses, the 12Z. There goes Monday's system spreading precip. Tuesday's system rolls through. Little bit of a break before the next weak frontal system starts to roll in here, and then a bit of a stronger system, potential atmospheric river. You can see bouncing around and it continuing to rain on in through next week, and then the following week here as well, another strong frontal system with more systems potentially on the doorstep after that. We're getting a bit far out in fantasy land here, but look at this pretty cold high pressure system, almost an Arctic. I don't want to call it that yet early in the season, but this would cool us down and at least give us a little bit of a break of precipitation across the Pacific Northwest, and potentially the Gulf of Alaska trough getting going again there. But that's way too far out to start to get caught up in any details on at this point. Here's the European on the left, the GFS on the right, model comparison at 18,000 feet. Yesterday's runs, trough goes through. There goes Monday's system, Tuesday's system. And I got to point out, the European has been just dynamite with picking up these systems. I mean, it took the GFS 2 days to sniff out this system after the European did, at least. And then you can see the pretty good agreement as we go through later this week, towards next week, with the Gulf of Alaska troughing on both the GFS and the European here. Really nice agreement at 100 hours there. And then kind of some differences in just how that trough will develop. You can see some lobes swinging by, even potential for a little bit of a windstorm here across the region. Again, as you can see, it's pretty good agreement really at 200 hours also here, as the Gulf of Alaska troughing looks like it will continue on into early November. Now looking here, atmospheric river hunt here, precipitable water. You can see Monday's system pretty progressive. Tuesday's system gets out of here fairly rapidly as well. So it'll bring some beneficial rains across the area. And then as we go through later this week and kind of see a little bit of a signature there for the atmospheric river coming up. In fact, let's update this to the 12Z and see if it's brought us anything new here. Here goes Monday's system again. Here goes Tuesday's system, little slug of moisture as well. We're loading this as we go here. And then let's see if there's any sign of an atmospheric river as we go in towards later next week. A little bit. Yeah, it's bouncing around across the area here. So we got to watch this, especially if we build up any snow across the lower elevations. We're still early in the season, though, and the rivers aren't running high as of right now. So it's not a huge flooding threat, but we have to watch it here at least. Now, taking a look here, this is the European ensemble run from yesterday afternoon. This goes out 360 hours. So you can see Tuesday's system go there. Then the Gulf of Alaska troughing gets going, potential atmospheric river or a windstorm, whatnot going on. Active pattern continues on in through early November. Look at some of these lobes swinging down across the area. And then the high tries to get in here, but quickly gets squelched for a long-term Gulf of Alaska return here, maybe through the later portions of early November. Now, we looked at this yesterday. This is a cross-section temperature for Whistler, the ski area up there. And anytime you see the purples come along here, that means the temperature went above freezing there at the surface. So you can see it scaled back on that a little bit. Not as warm as yesterday. So that's a good thing for Whistler. This is for Stevens Pass. You can see that snow level rising up to around, 9,000 feet here as we go through next weekend, with the potential for some warm southwesterly flow over the area. We'll watch that out. We'll watch out for that for some nuisance flooding as we go. Mount Hood, of course, the further south you get, the warmer the air. You can see the freezing level going up over 10,000 feet here as we go in towards later this coming week. Whidbey Island, check out tonight. Look at some of the wind speeds showing up here, mid-40s. And this is probably a southeasterly event here. And then there's going to be some westerlies behind that are probably gusting up towards 39, 40 miles per hour as well. So a 1-2 punch there for Whidbey Island. Not exceptionally strong, but you'll probably notice it if you're out there through Whidbey Island, San Juan's, the coastal areas up towards Bellingham, for example, Anacortes. Probably notice those gusty winds overnight. Maybe they'll even wake you up here. Looking at Orcas Island, nice swath of mid-40s. Good model agreement here on probably some 45-mile-per-hour gusts rolling through here. Then maybe a couple other wind periods as we go through with this storm train rolling through the Pacific Northwest for the extended future. Friday Harbor, similar wind speeds here as well. You can see the mean over 40 miles per hour here. So you might get woken up by some gusty winds out there across the San Juans. And then another period as we go through Tuesday's system as well. Now looking at Skagit Regional Airport, you can see the mean in the upper 30s, so you may get some nuisance power outages. There's still a lot of leaves on the trees out there right now, so something worth watching here. And when you hear those gusts going by, you'll know what it's from here as this next system approaches Quileute. You can see probably around 40 miles per hour for a peak gust as we go. And off into the extended, you can see a smattering of some hints at bigger winds as we go out towards next weekend. We'll just continue to watch that. That is purely fantasy for now. Bellingham, look at this. The mean is up right at 40 miles per hour here. And you can see there's some smatterings of up towards the mid 40s as well. So heads up out there. Might get some nuisance power outages all the way up towards Bellingham or even southwest BC with these southeasterlies that are going to precede the frontal passage here as we go on to tomorrow morning. Now, this is looking at total precipitation coming up here. This is the hot off the press at the 12Z. Let's update this to make sure the run gives us all its information here. Here goes Monday's system through the area. This is a cumulative total, running total here on the model. So you can see the Cascades really piling it up here. Tuesday's system rolls through here as well, starts to add precipitation totals all the way down. Look at that cutoff, though, just on the California border. Good precipitation amounts up through Washington, up through the coastal areas of BC, Vancouver Island. Coastal ranges getting nice amounts as well. Then here comes next weekend's system here. This might be a little bit more juicy as you can kind of see that atmospheric river looking feature pointing at western Washington into southwest BC. We'll continue to monitor that one closely, but look at some of the amounts of the Cascades getting up over 4 or 5 inches all the way up through BC and Vancouver Island, Olympic Mountains as well. So yeah, the storm train is here, folks, and it's coming for the extended future here across Pacific Northwest. 6 to 10 day precip outlook. This is basically what was shown yesterday. And just trying to see if they have updated this, but no, but we can expect the bullseye to be very similar on the one that comes out today, as well as the 8 to 14 day. There should be very little changes coming up there. Landslide index, this is just a tool I like to look at here. No problems going on as of just yet. We have to get these values above this red line to have any problem with that. And right now in the lowlands, we're not looking at that, but in the extended, we could have a problem with some of the higher terrain, especially across burn scar areas. So yeah, look at Monday's system. Very nice representation here on the infrared satellite imagery. Tuesday's system right on its heels. And tomorrow afternoon, we're going to have some nice convergence zone activity moving through the area as well. We may get a thunderstorm or two across the region. I'll do that update probably tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that thunder potential across some of the Puget Sound down towards northwest Oregon as well, which probably exists up to actually into southwest BC also. But a nice storm system coming in tonight. These southwesterlies are going to be ripping here kind of across Whidbey Island and the San Juan Islands up towards southwest BC, Bellingham, mainly along the coastal areas of the Puget Sound, of course, and Quileute's going to get some good gusts too, and even some gusty winds coming down through Tacoma, Olympia, maybe some 40-mile-per-hour gusts up towards Seattle, even maybe along the water as well. So heads up for tonight. You'll probably hear those winds. You'll know what it is from. It's this system rolling through the area here. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe, pass this information along, and try to get this channel going. We went from 10 to 11,000 subscribers in about 4 days. Really an impressive jump there. So maybe the YouTube algorithm is starting to catch on here and the page will start to grow even more. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's storm.